Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Live It Up, the show where we explore and discuss how to take your life to that next level and beyond. We cover health, wealth, relationships, and how to create a life you absolutely love. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher Ellingson. Amy is out today, so we're going to be talking to a couple of people who are doing something exciting and inspiring. And by now you know that when I meet people who are up to big things in life, it inspires me, and I want to share that with you, which is why they are on the show today. Each episode I begin saying that we cover health, wealth, and relationships and how to create a life you absolutely love. Well, these two people are doing exactly that. They are taking on their health, their wealth, and their relationships, and they're taking them to that next level. These two walk their talk and are going to share some of the things they've achieved recently and what they intend to accomplish in these next 3 months. What they want to do is pretty radical, and so I invited them to be on the show because oftentimes when we get a high level of accountability, it helps us keep our word to ourselves. So sharing it with thousands of viewers is a great way to get leverage on yourself. Today, they're going to share their goals and how they're going to accomplish them, and then they're going to be back on the show to give us some updates. Pretty cool, huh? But before we meet them, I want to remind you that if you have a question you would like us to answer on or off the show, you can email it directly to me at fletcher@fletcherellingson.com. Today, I want to give as much time to our guests as possible, so we're going to skip today's email segment, and we're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back with Kim and Curt Seevers. Stay with us. Hey everybody, welcome back to Live It Up. We are here this morning talking with Curt and Kim Seevers. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Tell everybody where you drove over from today.
Tacoma, Washington.
All right, cool. And the reason they are on the show, as I said earlier, is they're going to share what they're up to, because they're up to some pretty cool stuff. And Curt and Kim have both been clients of mine in my coaching program. And, you know, a lot of people get to their 40s and 50s and they stop evolving, as far as how they think. And sometimes a lot of people give up changing their thinking way before that. But you guys haven't. And you've been in the coaching program for about 6 months. Can you each share something that you've gotten out of the program, so people, because a lot of people don't know what coaching is and they don't know what the value of it is. What have you gotten out of it, Curt?
Well, I'd say that one of the biggest things I've learned is the difference between beauty and suffering. Mm-hmm. In one of the first sessions we had, you talked about the differences and how we need to seek beauty in our life rather than how most people seek suffering. And a good example of that is my interaction with my daughter. So I'm a police officer. I'm used to dealing with people, being in control. And when I get home, my daughter's autistic, and sometimes she has a temper tantrum. And so what I really need to understand and really need to work on learning from her is that the reason why she's having that temper tantrum is she's in a place of beauty to a certain extent because of the fact that she's comfortable and she's confident that it's a safe place. Home is safe for her. So that's why she has that outburst. So instead of, here we go again and ramping myself up, and parenting on a mountaintop is what the counselors talk about, it allows me to say, okay, she's in a place, she's suffering, but ultimately it's a place of beauty. So let's adapt to that. Let's change this. And it's changed, and she's even commented, she's 15, and she's even commented that it's changed our parenting by going through your sessions and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool. That's a great testimony. I got to get that testimonial from her.
Yes,
wow.
Indeed.
All right. That's cool. So, so coaching can, you learned the difference between suffering and a life as beauty, right?
Yes, yeah.
And not to say that you weren't experiencing life as beauty, but when it's in front of you, when you know it intellectually, it allows you to step into it in your actions more easily, right?
Well, and you realize it better. I mean, instead of, like you said, it's always there, it's always around us, but how many times do we actually take our time to actually look at it? I mean, like, we live in Washington State. Everything around us is beautiful for the most part.
Yeah.
But how often do we really take the time to sit down and go, my God, this is beautiful. Mm-hmm. Look what's around us. Look what we have here.
Yeah, yeah. And for those, the viewers, the difference between suffering might look like I'm unhappy, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, I'm worried, those types of things that cause suffering, as opposed to experiencing life as beauty, where I'm in the moment, I'm present, I'm being patient, I'm looking for joy, I'm looking for the positive things, I'm feeling happy or fulfilled, and really being the master of that, really looking for opportunities to create that in your life. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. I love it. Yeah, that's a key thing for really creating a fulfilling life, is being able to step out of suffering and step into beauty. So thanks for sharing.
No problem. Yeah.
Kim, how about you? What's something that a takeaway from the coaching?
Well, from the beginning of the coaching sessions we started with you in, I think I started with you in July, was resetting my standards for myself.
Yeah.
And
so tell people what that means.
That means that I would go through, decide I was going to lose weight. As a perfect example. And I would lose the weight. But I would take the clothes and hide them in the closet for when I needed them again when I put the weight back on.
Your fat girl clothes.
Well, yes. So when I started coaching with you, one of my small goals was to donate that clothing to a women's shelter. But I didn't do it, and I didn't do it. And you would ask me, why have you not done it, Kim? But what if I need them again? And you helped me to understand that I don't need those clothes anymore. That was my old standard.
Right.
My new standard is that I'm not needing those clothes. So they've been donated. And I think we're going to talk about this later in your show, but the clothes I have on right now hopefully will be donated also in about 3 months.
All right, cool. So we'll learn more about that. And the standard, your previous standard, just again, so the viewers understand, your standard is what you are willing to settle for, right?
Yes.
So that's how we define a standard. It's what we're willing to settle for. And so before we started coaching, you would keep these clothes, aside, because your standard hadn't really changed, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So you wanted to be at a different weight and feel differently in your body, and you would hit that, but you kept these because you hadn't changed your standard.
Correct.
Right?
I needed those to go because my standard was it was okay to go back to those clothes.
Yes.
Well, and it's almost like an anchor. Sorry, it's almost like an anchor holding you back, because you've got those clothes and you're not able to keep where you're at because you've got this drag behind you.
Yeah.
So I had met my goal weight. I was in a totally different size, but those were on hold for when I met my real standard. But that standard is gone.
Yeah. You set a new standard.
I have a new standard.
And how did it feel to give away all those clothes?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels freeing, right?
And then I've learned that was just a simple example, but now that is with everything in my life. We set standards for everything, from finances to how we run our businesses to the way we parent to the way we look and feel.
Yeah. And so great example. And this is one of my favorite topic, standards. Because another way of asking it is, how good are you willing to have it, right? We just talked about that recently. How good are you willing to have it in your life? And your answer to that is going to reflect a standard. And our standards usually were not the standards that we chose. They were given to us by schools, by churches, by government, by our parents, by our grandparents, right? So we inherited most of our standards. The cool thing is you two are setting new standards for yourself that you actually want, that actually work for your life. So I gotta acknowledge you guys for that too.
Yep.
Cool. In your experience or understanding of coaching, how does it differ from, let's say, counseling or therapy? Not that anything is wrong with any of them, but just what's the difference? Is there a difference that you're aware of?
I'll actually tell you that I found therapy to be a positive experience, right? But I also found therapy to be an outlet, and in some cases, even an opportunity and permission to hash out all the bad things that had happened and focus on them. And so with coaching, I find it to be the exact opposite. I have a past, and it's there, but it's gone. And the coaching experience has allowed me to say, that's in the rearview mirror, but I'm going forward. I'm going to drive ahead, and what's ahead of me, the journey is beautiful. And if I focus out the rearview mirror, I'm not going to be able to enjoy what's in front of me.
I love it. Good analogy. Thanks. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, very similar. I mean, I think through your coaching, the biggest thing I've kind of gotten from it is building strategies on how to do different things and how to attain different things. And, you talk about setting goals and taking, little successes and that kind of stuff. Whereas I think with counseling, like Kim said, it kind of focuses, it's a good outlet, it's a good talk about, it's a good sounding board, and maybe a little different opinion about something, but you're really not setting a strategy for how to move forward. You're just kind of, how do I deal with what's in my past? How do I get it out of my mind or work through my mind? But it doesn't really give you a clear path on how to move forward.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm excited about the fact that coaching is actually teaching us how to think differently, so that we don't have to go back to counseling for those same issues over and over. We're thinking differently about our lives and making actual positive changes.
Right. Yeah, I love that distinction. And I've done plenty of counseling too,
Us too.
and I appreciate it.
Yes.
But I like that distinction. We're talking about how do we change our thinking, because that's something that's just in us. We don't even think about how we think, right?
Right.
And so we're not just discovering what messed us up in the past. We're like, okay, that happened, great, what's the lesson from it? How can I apply it, move forward powerfully, and really take on a new way of thinking, which is exciting for me. So obviously I get passionate about it.
Very good.
All right.
Just so you know,
Yes.
we're still going to keep the counselor's phone number on speed dial.
Absolutely.
Because I think
Yes,
everybody
okay.
needs a counselor.
Absolutely. Yeah, get support in your life,
That's
whether
right.
it's a coach, a counselor, a therapist,
Yeah.
and they all have gifts that you can take and apply to your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in our coaching program, we talk a lot about being unreasonable. And when I say that, I mean being willing to give up your reasons as to why you can't do something in your life. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear from Kim and Curt as to how they are being unreasonable, meaning giving up their reasons, and we're going to find out what their new goals are and how they plan to accomplish them. Stay with us. Hey everybody, welcome back to Live It Up. We are here with Kim and Curt Seevers from Tacoma, Washington. They're sharing with us the games they're playing for these next few months. They've set some ambitious goals, and we're going to hear about them right now. Starting with you, Curt, tell us how are you being unreasonable? What limiting belief are you giving up, and what are you about to accomplish?
Well, the first game I'm playing with myself is, I call it Lose the CPAP. So I use one of the CPAP breathing machines at night to help me sleep, and really it's more for her than for me because it helps her sleep. But I feel that the reason why I've only been using it for a couple years now, or not even 2 years, but the reason why I'm using it is because, in my opinion, is I've gained so much weight that it's, basically everything's gotten smaller in my body as my body's gotten bigger. And so it's happened, it's stopping me from breathing correctly at night. So in my mind, if I lose some of the weight, then I ultimately lose the CPAP.
Yeah.
Is kind of what my thought process is behind it. So I've set a goal of losing some weight. I want to get down to 195 pounds. And I started out at 214, and as of yesterday, I was at 207.
Whoa!
And I started the first of the year.
Wow!
So Kim and I are eating keto, and it's healthy. But one of the big things I've done is I've quit drinking Diet Pop. I'm drinking
which diet soda was your favorite?
Diet Mountain Dew.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
I was a fiend for that. I could literally drink two of the 2 liter or 1 liter bottles a day, so 2 liters a day. But what I've done is I've replaced that with water. I drink about my goal is 100 ounces of water a day, and then eating better, trying to exercise. My goal is 5 days a week, just because of our schedule. Sometimes I don't get every day, but I want to exercise for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. and just kind of be more conscious about what I'm putting in my body.
Yeah.
I cheated yesterday and had a little bit of a cookie, and so but I ate the little cookie and I'm like, okay, I don't want that anymore. I need to go back to what I was doing before. So
I love it. You know, and some of those slip ups allow us to actually see like, oh, it wasn't even that good really, you know, or like, oh, there was some momentary pleasure, but the greater pleasure is getting to that weight and feeling healthy in my body, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
So cool. So I love this game that you're playing, and you're already rocking it, which is super cool. I mean, you're down 7 pounds, and I don't know, whatever it would be, the 11th or something of 12th today, or whatever it is, but a couple weeks into January.
10th.
The 10th?
The 10th.
Yeah.
10 days.
And and kicking the diet soda, man, a lot of people are addicted to that.
Oh,
So-
yes.
So
Yes,
to go
indeed.
cold turkey and to replace that with water, right on.
Yeah, it took me a couple days. I went one day without one, and then another day I had a small one. But I think the third or fourth was the last time I've had a diet pop, and I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need the caffeine because I actually feel more awake during the day. I feel better during the day now than I can remember before.
That's great. And and what's great is that you recognize like, hey, I put on some weight. It had a cost to it. The cost was now I can't breathe as well when I'm sleeping, so your standard for a couple of years has been to sleep with a CPAP machine, right?
Yeah.
That's an inconvenience, yes or no?
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah. So, but that was your standard. It was what you were willing to settle for, and now you're saying no more. My new standard is I'm taking control of my weight, how I feel in my body. You're taking control of your health, and I'm getting rid of the CPAP machine.
Yes, exactly.
Super cool. So we're gonna invite you back, in a couple months, and you can give us a report. And so thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, and we're rooting for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And if you are on a CPAP machine, if you are having troubles with this, hey, take some inspiration from this guy here. He's taking it on. You can do the same thing. All right. Kim, let's go over to you. What game are you playing, and what have you had to give up as far as a limiting belief or being unreasonable?
We're going to go back to my weight.
Okay.
Okay. So I had lost that weight, and I had donated those clothes,
Yes.
and that was great. I was just going to keep it there.
Well, when did you donate the clothes? I think that's important too.
I donated the clothes in August.
Okay.
In August, maybe late August time. Okay, so I was running around in my new clothes size, and I'm going to be really vulnerable here. A 4. I had a little party in a dressing room when I figured out I was in a size 4, and I decided that was my new standard.
Cool.
No,
Okay.
until I saw myself in a picture, and I thought, I'm still not a healthy weight.
Uh-huh.
I need to lose some more weight, and I do need to lose weight. So my goal is 135 pounds
Uh-huh.
and a size 2.
Wow.
And so that seems, I don't know that I was even in a size 2 when I was in high school, but that's okay. This is my new standard
Yeah.
for myself. And so what I'm doing is I have a calendar, and as soon as I walk in the door, the calendar is on the wall in front of me, and I am challenging myself to 30 days straight of 30 minutes of movement. So I mark on the calendar what I had done to move that day.
I love it.
Yeah, it's fun because if I come in and it hasn't been marked off, I'm looking for 30 minutes to do something.
Right.
Right.
I love it. I love that you're saying just moving too.
Right.
Because a lot of people think, oh, exercise, oh, it's so laborious and tedious. And you're just saying, hey, look, I just got to move for 30 minutes, right? Because some people don't move for 30 minutes a day, right? So, and I also want to just point out, because a lot of people are really sensitive about weight issues and like specific weights or sizes. Hey, look, we all have different body types.
Yep.
And this is not about being a sexy model. It's about feeling good in your body and creating health and vitality, because you want to feel good the rest of your life, right?
Right.
I mean, this is what we have to get us through these next decades, and we want it to hold up well, right? We want it to serve us. So I just want to point that out.
Right.
So you're playing, great, so you've got a specific, and really when we talk about weight or size of clothing, these are just metrics.
Correct.
Right?
It's a way to measure.
It's a way to measure, right? And so you've got some metrics that you're like, okay, this tells me if I'm on course or off course.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Good.
I've chosen this weight for myself, and people will say that it's still not down enough for my 5'2" body. But for me, I suffer from some autoimmune disorders that I didn't choose for myself. But one way I can control how I feel with those autoimmune conditions is to find where that healthy weight and waist size is for me with a lot of inflammation. And I've decided that that's going to be my new standard. And when I get there, I may need to adjust again one way or the other. But that's where myself, my physicians collectively decided that that was the next target.
I love it. So you've actually sought counsel from some physicians and said you got their buy-in and so it's good.
Correct.
I love it.
Yes.
Excellent.
And the 30 days thing doesn't mean I'm going to stop exercising after 30 days. I chose to do the 30 days straight because I have the kind of schedule that I don't have an excuse to not exercise at some level. I'm fortunate. There are days when I have gone nonstop and I get home at 8 o'clock and I still have not gone to the gym or have gone for a walk. But those are the nights where I pick up the hand weights and the exercise ball and visit with my daughter while I'm getting in 30 minutes of some exercise.
I love it.
Well, and the 30 days came from one of the shows we watched with you and your wife, and how it's reprogramming your brain in the 30 days. And so that's why I think she clung on to that after we got done watching that show.
For sure. Amy inspired me to reprogram my brain so that exercise and movement would be a new habit.
I love it.
So that's why I chose that.
I can't wait to share that with her. She's, because she really has been very successful at reprogramming her mind at kind of the same thing. Look, I need to move for a certain amount of time every single day. It might look like this, but she's committed to just movement. So I'll share that with her. That's cool.
Yes.
Great. All right. So those are a couple games. We have just a couple minutes left. I think you had one more game that you're going to play collectively, right, together?
Yeah, we have a goal of building our bank account, and it's a pretty substantial goal. We had tried to set it, or we'd set it during our last session, and we were trying to reach it by the end of the year, and we fell a little short. But
I was actually very disappointed that our goal was in a very substantial amount of money saved with all of our bills paid by the end of December. And we were coaching with you, and I don't know if you recall this, but I went to balance all the books in the middle of December and learned that we were not going to make our goal. And I told you in a session we're not going to make the goal. You did not focus on that. And a couple days later, I guess about a week later, I went to go rebalance checks, get everything ready for the end of the year, and Curt hears me shriek. We got to call Fletcher. We got to call Fletcher. And he's like, what's wrong? We are going to make our goal by January 22nd. So our goal will be 22 days late.
Wow, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
So even though we didn't reach or achieve our goal, we still had success in that time frame building up. And even though it's a little late, it's better than never.
Absolutely, you're right. And this was a stretch goal for you guys. This would be a stretch goal for many, many people. And you guys shot for it. You fell a little bit short in the time frame, but overall, in 22 days, you're hitting this massive financial goal, which is just like, talk about a party. That's going to be fun, right? I mean, you guys are going to, how good is that going to feel?
It's
Great,
going to feel awesome.
but we've upped the ante on that.
And you've upped the ante.
Yes.
Yeah. So we want to keep that amount in our bank account, if not bigger. But our goal is to, we're planning a trip for spring break. And so we want to pay for that, get that all paid off, and then, or paid into, however you want to say it. And then we also want to pay off one of our 2 cars.
Cool. So you guys are playing big financial games. Most Americans are drowning in debt, and most Americans are hard-pressed to even find $450 in their savings account. So you guys have set new standards for yourself, right? These guys are killing it with the new standards. I love it. We are out of time, so we're gonna have to wrap up. I wanna, first of all, thank you guys for being on the show and acknowledge you for the work you've done and are doing and the lives that you're creating and the impact that you make for others. So thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Oh, this is awesome.
All right, it's time to get out there, be a source of kindness, be a source of contribution. You matter, you have something that this world needs, and I believe in you.